They say Africa is the poorest continent. However, we pay more than anyone else to send money back home. When we were going through our challenges, he phoned me one day and said, Jones, you are useless. Most of the investments coming into Africa or by Africans are 50K, 100K, 250. And when they invest that, they want everything, including your heart, your kidney.
What if sending money back home didn't cost you your peace, your time, or your hard-earned cash? What if the diaspora wasn't just a support system, but the power plant behind Africa's future? Today on the Diaspora Conversation Podcast, we sit down with a man who's not just asking those questions, he's answering them with code, strategy, and innovation.
Once you go up there, a lot of people think that it's your responsibility to look after them.
Jones Amegbor, chartered accountant, fintech innovator, and CEO of PayAngel. What's unique about PayAngel?
Most people see the opportunity to make money. Remittances is about 700 billion right now globally.
From the boardrooms of Barclays to the streets of Accra, he's building the future where remittances become investments. The borders don't limit our financial reach. Get ready for a conversation about money, migration, and the mission to make Africa rise unstoppable. This is the Diaspora Conversation. So who is Jones? Beyond the titles, I want to know a bit about you growing up.
I was born here in Accra, but moved very early on to the village in Keter because we had some challenges. And Jones is just that kid who grew up in the village in Keter selling condo and provisions before school. I come from very, very, very humble beginnings.
And how old are you when you were selling condo?
People listening would start screaming, child labor. Because this was primary school. Probably would
5,
say
6, 7, 8?
Probably 7. And this was something that we had to do. And like I said, a lot of people hearing this would think child labor now. Right. But I think it's set the foundations for who I am today. The grit and everything comes from that beginning,
right.
Knowing that I have to strive very hard to achieve things and also see the impact that I make in the lives of people. Because when you consider it, I have to go and sell provisions for people in the hospital. That's is serving them, and afterwards selling condo, which you can't live without your banku or that type of stuff, right? Course. So, yeah. And
was that a way to survive for your family? Was that a way to basically be able to cater for you guys to go to school? Tell us the reason why. What was behind you selling? Did your other siblings sell? Are you the oldest?
I'm not the oldest. I'm the third, but we all had to go through it. It was a difficult period for my family. It wasn't always like that. Actually, it started really well. We lived at Teshningwa Estate. My dad was working for UTC and had some challenges. And so my mom decided it was time for us to go back to our roots, go back to the village and start all over again whilst my dad worked and find his feet again. It was a very painful period because you come from everything to nothing very, very quickly.
How many of you are in the family?
6 strong boys.
6 strong boys.
6 strong boys. No sister.
No sisters.
No sisters.
When did you transition to the UK? What age?
2000.
Millennium.
Millennium. And then when I finally completed my national service and everything, I went back in 2002.
Okay.
And basically stayed.
Okay.
That was when I decided to go and do my MBA, and so went to do my MBA, and then quickly got a job with Barclays, and that was it. Okay.
So were you always a finance person? Did you always love maths and, calculations and stuff like that? Because you went into banking. So that means you must love maths, right?
I certainly do love maths. But the interesting thing was growing up, I was certain that I was going to be a doctor. But faith had it that things didn't go the way I wanted it to go to. Probably that was not God's plan for me.
Okay. What happened?
You'll be very surprised. I went to Kwashiman Anglican, JSS, and it's not a school known for producing students who will go to pre-sec.
Okay.
And this kid comes around. I joined them in my second year, so they didn't know much about me, really. And when it came to picking schools, I chose 3 top tier schools, and that was it. And they were like, no, you can't do that, you have to choose from this list. I'm like, no, that's what I want.
The school that you want.
Those are the schools that I wanted. The headmistress knew my dad and pretty much went to my dad and said, this boy is not listening. You have to discipline him. He came home and yes, disciplined me.
No, just because you picked schools that you wanted?
Yes, he did. And so between them, they decided they were going to change the schools, and they didn't even choose a single one of those that I picked. They picked, so they decided I would go to Akraka, Odogono, and Wesley Grammar.
My goodness.
Thankfully, I had a teacher who believed in me. So on the side, he reached out to me and said, Jones, what do you really want to do? I said, I want to go to pre-sec. So he said, don't worry, I've got you. So he changed the
selection for you
before it was submitted. But the mistake was that when they picked Akraka, they changed the subject to business, because Akraka is supposed to be a business school and pre-sec is a science school. I got the results, I got into pre-sec.
But you're going to do business.
They were like, you pretty much have to find someone in the science class who wants to switch to the business class. Unfortunately,
nobody wanted to switch.
No, not in pre-sec. It's very hard to find someone to switch from a science class to business or economics or any of the other classes. But I think that was the plan God had for me, because looking back, that was necessary.
Wow, I love that. So you got to the UK, you're working at Barclays. At what moment during your time at Barclays did you say, you know what, I don't want to do corporate anymore? I want to start my own business.
I was responsible for managing the new product approval process and stuff like that. And you would put products that are not really welcoming, because there are so many processes you have to go through, and banks are not ready to innovate at the pace that some of us wanted to.
Right.
As I was going through that, I was also facing challenges sending money back home. These were the days where you have to leave the office, and I was in Canary Wharf, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
Those days, to send money, you have to go to Upton Park or places like that to find the shops.
Yeah.
And being in Canary Wharf, working over there, you go in the morning. By the time you close, the shops are closed as well. So I started thinking, why can't I do this directly? Unfortunately, around the same time, I realized that trying to pay for things directly to businesses was a challenge.
Right.
Trying to send money to pay for a family member's tuition, and it didn't get there. And
they used the money for something else.
Yeah, unfortunately, the money ended up with Jesus. So I started asking myself a lot of questions. Could I have prevented this? Why are things the way they are? So I started researching, and the literature on remittance was just amazing. So many. At the time, Kofi Annan was focusing on remittance. Tessa Jowell was talking about it constantly in Parliament. So there was so much data, and I realized that the issue wasn't just a case of we can't send money directly to pay for things. The cost to Africans was ridiculous. They say Africa is the poorest continent. However, we pay more than anyone else to send money back home.
Wow.
So that didn't make sense to me. So I started digging a bit more, and my interest grew from there.
Wow. But would you say that, you know, having worked at Barclays and Lloyds prepared you or not for PayAngel?
Sufficiently.
Yeah.
all my experiences put together from childhood, selling.
Entrepreneur,
Then going through uni, I started a business journal at the University of Ghana. And then, throughout that period, it seemed like building blocks to it. And definitely, I learned my trade at Barclays. I probably changed jobs, roles every single year. So I learned so much in the different roles. I knew pretty much everything you can think of, banking, retail, corporate, investment banking, back office, front office. I learned all of that. So that definitely gave me an advantage because I could see everything from every angle.
Right. And how was it setting up a business and letting go of corporate, something that you know that you've got a stable salary coming in from month to month, to actually giving that up and starting afresh?
It is actually the hardest thing, and I think it's certainly the thing that keeps most of us doing corporate, because I do believe that there are a lot of people out there with very passionate about something, but having to give up your salary. The thing salary affords us to do is to afford the little luxuries of life. And as your salary keeps going up, you realize that your lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
It creeps up on you. You don't know it, but you realize that the car that you drive changes.
Oh.
The house that you want, the clothes that you want, and you don't save anything.
Yeah.
It was very difficult, especially being a family man. Around that same time, I was going through difficulty in relationship. And when I got separated, I thought this was the chance for me to do something that matters. So I left Barclays and decided to contract. That was when I joined Lloyd's, and contracting money was definitely better, better than regular salary.
Yeah.
That afforded me the opportunity to have a decent life and still invest in PayAngel. And then over time, I decided I've seen enough to jump in, and that's what I did.
Well, would you say that in the UK there's like a glass ceiling for black people?
100%.
Can we earn a lot of money like for the white people? Is there a ceiling for us as black people who live in the UK? Because I feel like the US is more open. I feel like you can make more in the US than the UK. I think the UK really limits us. You know, we've lived there. Tell us your experience with that.
In terms of disposable income, US is better. UK tax is crazily high. But to the question around limiting black people, 100%. I was lucky. I had mentors around me and people who would come to me, white folks who would come to me, Jones, your technical skills is amazing. You shouldn't be here. They would say things like that. Some of them would say, you should be in the US. So having all of that made me realize that I'm being limited, right? Yeah. And so were others. And I started realizing that one of the things that, although we're being limited, some of the things that we struggle from, we are our own enemies sometimes. And some of the things we struggle from are the softer skills. And I realized that I was super technical, but the softer skills were lacking. Right. Thankfully, I got nominated by the CFO to the Barclays Leadership Program, which was an amazing opportunity that gave me the chance to start developing some of these skills.
Okay.
And when I got there and I realized that, okay, when I look around, I don't see my people like me. I decided to leverage that, and I started a group called Sprint ProNet. Okay. The whole idea of it is to give back to my people, the community, those within banking as well. What I realized was that we were focusing more on complaining about the lack of opportunity than focusing on playing the game. It is a game. When you find yourself in a space, you have to do what is required to get ahead.
I know that PayAngel wasn't the first initial name for the company. Tell us the process in which you went through to come up with PayAngel in the end.
Yeah. Well, so the first name was Ping Money. And coming from technology, ping, we're constantly saying, ping me something. basically in tech speak, send.
Yeah.
So ping money.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense. And when I started, I wasn't going to play small. I was going to go big. So I decided to register the name globally, trademark. But the US people being who they are, litigious as they are, a company in the golfing space decided to challenge our trademark registration. They had no rights to it, but they were just going to frustrate us. And that challenge went on for 2.5 years. In the end, we realized that they were just going to frustrate us and we're not going to see the end of it. We're going to be spending so much money just chasing it. Barclays came along and said, hey, guys, we can help you with this. And we're like, no, please go away. We still want this. Because they wanted to launch Ping It.
And I remember Ping It.
Yeah, we had the right ahead of them. So if we had won, Barclays couldn't have launched Ping It. But to cut a long story short, we ended up agreeing something with Barclays, and we decided to change the name. We put down a number of names, started ideating, just wrote down so many different names. We whittled it down to 4 and then 3, and we started asking people what they think. PayAngel was my favorite, so the company name PayAngel. I immediately registered it. But when we started communicating with the public, we realized that some people will spell PayAngel with the K, not the C. And then some people said it sounds like Western Union, big corporate. They didn't have that connection with it. But PayAngel was easier. They thought that it shows how we're going to behave and all of that. And even those who didn't like the name PayAngel because of the religious connotation, when we kept surveying them, we realized that they might not like it, but they remember it. And if they remember it, it's a good thing. And it would resonate across Africa, which was the market that we were going to play in. So hence PayAngel.
Fantastic. And just to go back when you spoke about how Barclays came, and this is a company that you worked for, now coming to say, actually, this name, we want it as well. How was that for you? I've started this journey and already the company that I work for is coming to me.
It was a bittersweet moment. Sweet because I realized that we had something. Bitter because I had to let go. And Barclays were generous, but they were clever in their move.
Why do we have such power in the diaspora when it comes to sending money back home?
Because we have the numbers. It's not an option. If you have to send money to your siblings, your parents, or even people within your community, friends, you just do it because that is your responsibility. Once you go up there, a lot of people think that it's your responsibility to look after them, and you take that up. But also, a lot of the diaspora want to still maintain their roots back here, so they engage in a lot of projects back home. And building their retirement homes, putting money aside for pensions and all of those. And that is really what drives remittance. On the flip side, foreign direct investments, you're pretty much begging for money. And they decide when to give it and how much to give.
What's unique about PayAngel?
We talk about Fintech or even just building something. Most people see the opportunity to make money. But we come at it from what are the needs within the community, and then we build solutions. Remittances is about 700 billion right now globally. Right, so there's a big addressable market out there, what we do. And they don't even understand why we have issues like why we cannot send money directly to businesses. We have the likes of SWIFT, etc. They're so expensive. If I want to pay for something that is less than $100, I'm not going to send a SWIFT that will cost me $45 overall. And why would I want to send a SWIFT? I want to make sure that it's traced. Right. And if money flows to businesses, it should flow with data. Unfortunately, remittances do not. So it's easier to flow to an individual, because if I'm sending you money right now, then you know I'm sending you money, and when you receive it, you know that you've received that. However, if I'm sending money to a business, let's say an insurance company, it's a policy. There are so many people holding that policy. That transfer should come with the policy number, so that it makes it easier for them to reconcile. Unfortunately, that's not something that cross-border payments handle really well. Hence, you have the likes of SWIFT, because SWIFT comes with structured data. But it's expensive. So the question is, when it comes to those flows that should go to businesses, low value recurring payments that go to businesses, how do you handle it? What we currently do, or what we have been doing all along, is I'll send it to an individual and ask them to make the payments on my behalf. And then you have the problem because that person now decides how to use the money.
Absolutely.
Right? And you are their mercy pretty much. That is one of the things that we want to change. The other thing is, we have a global world right now, and we move around a lot. Right now, if anyone moves from the UK and comes to Ghana, to be able to play in the ecosystem, they will have to register for Momo or one of those. And then tomorrow they're going to Kenya, they'll have to get M-Pesa, etc. The question is, why can't we travel with one arm? There are legacy infrastructure on the continent. And I know this has been blamed for the reason why there's high cost of remittance. I don't believe in that, but it does play a part in the friction that we have. So one of the things that we're doing differently is we're not just on the send side, we're on the receive side as well, helping build the infrastructure that makes money move across borders seamlessly. That makes us different.
So if you're paying for your daughter's or your niece's university, you can pay directly, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
If you're paying for insurance, you can pay directly to the insurance company.
Yeah.
And then what I also like is the fact that you have a Dropbox of, is it going to a funeral? Is it going towards a professional service? And that data is really good for us to know, right?
Yes.
So looking at that, you know, the list when I'm sending money, what is the highest type of transfer that you're seeing?
Education is the highest, and then you have medical bills and stuff like that.
What has been some of the challenges that you have faced when it comes to setting up on the continent, starting with Ghana?
Just want to quickly add that in terms of what makes us different as well, we are the only remittance company that has an embedded life insurance for the beneficiary.
For the beneficiary, okay.
So it's that's an amazing benefit that they get, and we truly want to make sure that we are empowering not just the senders, but also the beneficiary.
Okay, so when they receive the money, they're also insured.
They're also insured.
By how much?
There are tiers based on how much
you send.
How much you send, and it's aggregated, so the different levels, and it's renewed every single month, and that's in partnership with Allianz Insurance. We started out in Ghana, and we're now going to roll it out to all the countries that they are in, which is amazing. Now, coming back to the challenges. Setting up in Africa is hard, especially if you don't live here. And for me, pretty much having to relearn to be Ghanaian, how things are done, etc. Because when you're trying to go through licensing in the UK, Canada, all of these places, it seems like there is a process. You just have to learn to read and follow it. Yeah. But over here, it's completely different.
A lot of people in the organizations that are heading the organization have had experiences outside, so they know how things work outside. Why is it that we can't seem to implement it on the continent. Like, the process is the process. What is our issue when it comes to that?
When you get here, it doesn't matter what you know out there. You'll quickly be told this is not how it works over here. And if you try to kick against it, then you are too known. Right? And unfortunately, that's our reality. And there are some of them that you, like I said, you just have to learn to play. Setting up itself is not as easy as out there. You know, when you want to set up a company in the UK, you go online, less than 24 hours. Over here, you have to go through a process. So the bureaucratic nature of our institutions limit us from doing some of these things. And unfortunately as well, I think there's broken trust within the system. So our regulators take on a whole lot more to try and police the industry, but somehow it stifles us, and we're not able to grow at the pace that others are growing.
Do you think if you were, I don't know, Asian, white, and you came in to set up this business, it would be easier for you?
I had an investor who gave us some money and promised to give us a whole lot more. When we were going through our challenges, he phoned me one day and said, Jones, you are useless. You can't even get a license in your own country. If I were to go there right now, I'll get everything with the bells and whistles with cherry on top of it. That hit me very hard. And I stepped back, and the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, he's right. So that's the answer to your question.
My goodness. Oh, that's painful. That is painful.
Yeah.
I've been through a similar situation where I was working with a company and I was able to do all other countries apart from Ghana. And they're like, wait, Tenta, you're from Ghana. You're always promoting Ghana, but you can't seem to get this thing done in Ghana. And it's quite sad that, you know, as indigenous Ghanaians as well, we're also, you know, people think that, oh, when they come and they're not from, you know, Ghana, they're black Africans that are coming, they get frustrated. But we also get frustrated, you know. I think it's something that people need to understand, that as Ghanaians as well, we are also frustrated.
Maybe there's something in what the Bible says. A prophet is not welcome in Israel.
Yeah.
I have a lot more support in other countries that we're in. Kenya moving faster for us. And even my adopted country, the UK, the support they put behind us, their embassies, everyone is aligned. Department of Business and Trade supports us. We go to the US, we have great support behind us. We have institutions pretty much lining up to support us. Unfortunately, we don't have that level of support over here. So maybe we need to look deeper into what the Bible says and understand why that is the case. Kenyans will probably say the same thing. They don't get the same support, but for me, getting there feels like it's just feels different. Yeah.
In you still pushing the brand, you need investors. And I think me and you have gone back and forth on this conversation about, you always said at the beginning, Denta, I want African, I want black investors to be the ones that invest at least first, right? But that was a challenge that we both faced in getting our people to invest. Actually, it was other people that wanted to invest. Tell us about that journey as well.
I truly wanted this to be an African success story, to inspire generations to come that we can truly do it. Because when I hear stories like Nkrumah said, the African is capable, but we're truly not capable because of certain things, I feel like we need to start changing that narrative. I truly wanted to make this an African success story. And when you think of finance, what we're doing is basically wrapping ourselves around the economy. Remittances contribute a lot to the different economies in Africa. In some countries, it's so high that it's half of their GDP.
Yeah.
Right. So once you start looking at this, you start realizing that if you don't control something like this, somebody else is going to control it. And then when they decide to switch it off, you are in trouble. So I was thinking, why can't we do this for ourselves? And that was the whole reason behind it. But I quickly realized, maybe a bit too late, realized that there was a different kind of game being played, and also the scale. So trying to get that kind of money from Africa, you're looking at small money. Most of the investments coming into Africa or by Africans are 50K, 100K,
Right.
250, 500K. And when they invest that, they want everything, including your heart, your kidney, all of it.
Everything.
And they want you to be saying that, yes,
Yes, master.
Yes, master. But we were thinking global.
Right.
We're thinking large scale. We wanted to change things. And remember, we also want to contribute to changing the legacy system and build the infrastructure. So it's not just putting an app out there, so you just pay for an app and it works. That's not it. So that kind of money wasn't going to cut it. So that was the challenge that we faced. And I took a step back and I started asking myself, did I make a mistake? And I probably did. Okay. It's very difficult to accept because you see, in the venture game, if you have backers very early on when you start, those backers are bound to follow on and support you when you get stuck. But when you don't have them, they don't want to jump in, especially when you've already achieved certain scale. The venture game is all about multipliers, right? So if I back you today, what's your valuation going to be? So how can I multiply that money? If you've already achieved a certain scale, then it means that that multiplier reduces.
Okay.
Right? So the sooner you get in, the better. And then you can get that support along the way, because the questions keep coming. Do you have a backer? Or who is on your cap table? And once those questions start coming, you realize that you have to time everything properly. So I think back, and I don't know whether to say the moments of bad strategy or regret, but it is what it is, and we take it. We believe that
right?
In spite of that, we have built a phenomenal business. We've streamlined operations a lot. And I think that we're much stronger than any of the businesses around us, because we've been forced to do things the hard way. We've been forced to think through the entire value chain and fine-tune things to the point where we know everything that moves within our organization and the things that we need to be focusing on. So that has helped us along the way.
But you've been backed by like the likes of JP Morgan, right? The accelerator program.
Techstars by
So
JP Morgan.
Tell us about all of those type of things that you've been able to achieve for the company.
When we got into Techstars New York by JP Morgan, it was a huge achievement for us because, globally, all companies from different sectors apply for this and they get to pick 12. And we're one of those 12. Going through the program, you learn so much, you get exposed to so much. Obviously, the team from JP Morgan puts their brand behind it. They also put their resources behind it. They take us to fancy places. We get to enjoy all those things so that we can look up to, to it. Yeah. And I think it all helps. And also building, talking to other entrepreneurs, looking at what they're doing, all of that help. That's not the only backing that we have received. It started with the Swiss government providing backing through remittance grant, which was helpful. We then got Microsoft to help us along the way, provide infrastructure, coaching support, and a whole lot. And then we later got into Stanford Seed as well, which is a year-long program. We got UNCDF on board as well to help us trial some of the products or ideas that we had to see how it would work. And then we also got Microsoft again, this time putting us onto their Entrepreneurs for Positive Impact program. So we have had a lot of support along the way. And like I said, the Department for Business and Trade, UK Department for Business and Trade, the consulates are open to us. In the US as well, we have access to some amazing resource from New Jersey Economic Development Authority and all of that. So there is a lot of support behind. I'm just hoping that back home we'll get support as well.
I'm sure soon it's coming. In terms of growth, where do you see in the next 5 years where PayAngel will be?
In the next 5 years, I'm going to make this bold prediction. We will be number one to our key markets. The corridors to Ghana, to Kenya, possibly Uganda. Uganda is doing really well as well.
And what about keeping up with like regulations, compliance in all of these countries that you're in? How are you able to deal with that?
Yes. You can't be in
Is
this.
that why you're so bold?
Yes, it's part of the reason why I'm bold, and being bold is not enough. The gray is coming. Yeah, the gray is coming. So, you can't be in this space without embracing regulation. So we do embrace regulation. I get involved in it.
You've said numerous amount of times, I mean, I've been on platforms with you, that the diaspora is Africa's sleeping giant. Why do you say that?
Not only are we contributing more towards the development of Africa, towards remittances, bear in mind that the numbers that we're tracking, it's not all that comes into Africa. Right. The informal channels, anecdotal evidence suggests that could even be equal or more than what is coming through the formal channel. Wow. What that means is that we're understating the impact of remittances. The second thing is talent. There's so many. I listened to this young girl the other day, and she was talking about how scholarships are given to the brightest in our country, and they go out there and they don't come back. Well, so what that means is that there are so many people out there who could come and contribute to the continent.
Absolutely.
And so I passionately believe if you have resources in the form of funds and talents, that is what we need to transform our continent. And so the diaspora is the sleeping giant.
Wow, I love that. What should diasporans be thinking beyond sending money back home?
Coming back.
Okay.
Supporting, if you're not able to do it yourself, support others who are on that journey with everything that you've got. And pretty much just try to connect, even if you're not ready right now, just try to connect, learn what's going on out there, learn about your history. It helps.
You've made Ghana your operational hub.
Yeah.
How do you see the talent here as well when it comes to tech in Ghana? The
talent in Ghana, generally, it's amazing. And what we're seeing is there are different layers.
Okay.
The very good ones end up moving across very few companies, and they're super expensive. And then you have another tier where they are okay, but need a lot of support, and they're not self-motivated. With the right structure, you can groom those to contribute as well. And I do believe that when you're talking about tech talent, Ghana has a really, really strong ecosystem. Not just for fintech, right. Tech generally.
Okay.
What is lacking though is the support system.
Okay.
The support is not there, and so all these talents that we have, they're not able to express themselves on the world stage. And going back to the question you asked earlier around funding, VCs follow others. most VCs will follow what others are doing. They follow the herd.
Yeah, follow the trend.
And unfortunately, Ghana has not posted any unicorn yet. So where does the money flow to? Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa. What's common about those countries? They've all posted unicorns.
Okay.
And that's the reason why, although Ghana has a very, very strong tech ecosystem, you're not seeing a lot of success stories on the global stage. And that has to change. And it starts with the support systems we create.
We've heard it many a times, this pull me down syndrome that we have for ourselves. Do you see that a lot around you when it comes to us in the continent? To
some extent, yes. But it's also about learning how things work. As I said earlier, I'm still learning to be Ghanaian. And the good thing is that I've got a right team around me to keep signposting me to the do's and don'ts. Yeah. But we could be a lot more supportive of each other, especially where you see someone doing really well. That is something that we're just not good at. But there's also, dare I say, lack mentality. Okay. The thing is, it's easier to give if you don't feel that you're going to go hungry.
Okay.
Right? You work so hard for your million, and so you don't want to go back, you hold on to that million. Right. But when you let go of that million or part of it, it multiplies for you. But because most of us are afraid, we are risk averse, we don't let go. And that is the reason why sometimes it feels like people don't want to support.
Okay. So in terms of investors, are you still looking for investors to come on board to support? If there's people watching that are like, you know what, I believe in what Jones is doing, believe in PayAngel, can they still have the opportunity to invest?
Yes. So we are currently raising. And the good thing is that we have 55% of the round committed.
Fantastic.
And we also have the support of New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Yeah. They are willing to back or match dollar for dollar every money we raise up to $6.25 million US.
Amazing.
That is that's an amazing support. And in addition, the investors get 20% of their money back within 90 days of investment.
Wow.
They double our money and give 20% of the investors' money back. So yes, we are raising, and we have 55 of the round already committed. We have 45 to go. We're looking to close in the third quarter. So before this quarter ends, we hope to close and see what amazing work we do with that.
Fantastic. A message that you would send to diasporans who are stuck between, you know, home UK and back home Ghana.
I've seen so many people make the transition, and consistently what I've heard is that they'll do it over and over again. So if you think that there is something here on the continent for you, don't think twice about it. Right. Jump. Sometimes when you're thinking too much, you waste time analyzing. Analysis paralysis, they say. Yeah. Just when you're feeling it and your heart is telling you, just jump.
Just do it. Okay.
Do it.
But on the flip side, is Ghana ready for us to come in as diasporans?
I do believe Ghana is ready. It's slow, but Ghana is ready. I genuinely believe that. I do also hope, though, that governments will start looking at how to make things a lot easier to start businesses. There was a graph shown to us by Stanford, and looking at the economies that have made it, and Africa. We have too many micro businesses. Most of the advanced countries are supported by small, medium enterprises, not even large businesses. So how do we go from the micro businesses to small, medium-sized enterprises? That is where I would challenge government to start looking at supporting businesses to move as from that's micro businesses to small and medium-sized enterprises, and playing on the global stage. When you look at Ghanaian enterprises, you can probably count on your fingers the number of them playing on the global stage, truly playing on the global stage. That's where we need support.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that. What moment in your journey have you felt the most burnt out?
2017, September. Doing everything right, that was when I just gave up everything, stopped my contracting with the banks and decided to go all in. And when certain things that were counting on didn't work out, my management team basically said, Jones, this space is hard. There are people with a lot more resources than us, and it's not going to work. So we took a vote, and unfortunately, they voted to shut down the company. And at that moment, I was telling them, no, we can't do this. They were like, this is your baby, we understand. You are too close to it, so you can't see it. So I had to take a step back and start thinking, is that really true? And so I contemplated and started thinking, maybe go back to work. But the more I go back to the reasons for starting, and the more I got convinced that it wasn't the right decision. So I said, okay, fine, you go, we'll start. We'll do it. And thankfully, we pulled through that. And there have been different moments dealing with government agencies over here. The past month, for example, has been a very tough time dealing with government agencies over here. And you do ask yourself the questions, can we really pull through? But that only serves to refocus us to keep going. And one thing I tell my team is, lessons I learned from trading, keep creating higher highs and higher lows. Once you're creating higher lows, higher highs, the trend is going to be up. And that's what we're going to keep doing. And we're not going to quit.
I mean, I've seen your journey. I've been with you, I would say, from the beginning, and from doing everything yourself, right? Working round the clock. I've done it. We did everything ourselves, from the social media, from sending out the emails, from the meetings, from everything, just to set up the foundation of the business. But now look how many people that you've employed.
I know.
Right? I know. And the impact that you've made. And so I just want to encourage you that these are testimonies that we'll be sharing on the bigger stages of our journey. And we can stand there one day and say, look, this is what we went through, but now we're a multi-billion-dollar company and we are serving and helping and supporting the community. And that's one thing that you've always done as well. You've always given back to the community from events, you know, even with angel communities, you know, you've set up an online platform that you can, you know, put your events on and sell tickets, etc., bring people together. The foundations that you've donated, we've partnered with you on several occasions on the foundation. So I've seen the work that you've put in, and everything from the beginning till now. And I'll say that, are you cool, as they would say. I know it's not easy. We still go through that as entrepreneurs, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, as they keep saying.
100%. Yeah. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. The biggest misconception out there is that if you run your own business, you can do whatever you want. If you truly want to do it on a big scale, the business controls you.
Yes, you don't have a life.
You have others controlling you. And for me, it's about living outside of myself and giving back.
Dollars or data?
Data.
Lagos or Accra?
Definitely Accra.
Blockchain, buzzword or game changer?
Blockchain.
What's the most misunderstood thing about money in Africa?
Money controls everything.
I would say that money grows on trees. Because they think that money grows on trees. Knowing what you know now and what you've been through, this journey of setting up as an entrepreneur, what advice would you have given to your 25-year-old self? Invest
in my story very quickly and collect as many labels as possible to support the story.
Okay, love that, Jones. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show, on this Diaspora Conversation Podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed the conversation.
I certainly have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's lovely being here with you.
Thank you. And I know that my viewers out there, for anybody that is interested in investing in PayAngel, please do contact us. The deck is ready and we are ready for you to invest in an African-owned business. Thank you.